My name is Kim and thank you for joining me for part of my wedding DIY series. I'm assuming that these will be separate videos, so thank you for joining me for this video. Today I will be going through the crochet flowers that I've made. So originally when it came to our wedding, I wanted to buy some flowers, go with whatever was in the shop at the time and sort of wing it a little bit, put some bouquets together, and then I started learning more or researching more about the flowers that are needed for a wedding. So in case you're not aware, some of the flowers that you need is, well, you don't need them, but usually the types of flowers that you need is a bouquet for the bride, which is obviously the biggest one, bouquets for your bridesmaids, which are smaller versions of the bride's bouquet, boutonnieres, little boutonnieres, little singular flowers that are for the men to go in their top pocket, and also little flowers for the mothers, so the mothers of the bride, well, mother of the bride and mother of the groom as well. I did a little trial of the flowers and I found that they were a little bit difficult to put together. I like to be as prepared as possible, and if I were to make the bouquets myself, then they would be made the week of, so a few days before the wedding, and I just thought, I've got so many other things to worry about. If I can make some flowers that I really like myself, then everything will be ready and that's one less thing to worry about. On the negative side, ever so slightly, it means that I've got a lot of stress now. So as I said, it's the 29th of August, so nearly September, so just over a month and a half until we get married, and I've still got quite a few flowers to make. But today I am going to show you the flowers that I have made already, just so that I have got a record of them and just to give you some ideas as well. I will link any patterns that I used below. All of the patterns that I've used are free. So they are crocheted, if I haven't said that already. And yes, so far the ones that I'm going to show you are the ones for the extended family, not the bouquets. The first flowers that I made, ignore that, that's the door. So the first flowers that I made were tulips. So my partner's favourite flower is a tulip, and I really liked the white colour of the tulip. It goes with everything, it's very simple. The tulips themselves, they do take, I'd say about an hour, a couple of hours to make. The really difficult part is putting them together. So I hot glued this to a special stick. I'll try and put a link to it below, just a floristry stick. I stuck, let's try and open one up. So at the top I stuck these little sort of stamens, I think they're called. Then I added the smaller inside leaves, which are crocheted with cotton around wire, floristry wire, and then I added the external petals, which are slightly bigger. After I did that, that was really complicated to glue on, just because hot glue guns, the glue is very hot, and I burnt myself many times and it's very fiddly. So my least favourite part of the process has been putting the flowers together. Although it's great afterwards, it is not a nice process. I get burnt a lot, and it is very fiddly, so it's not an enjoyable part of the process, but it's nice to see them at the end once they've been put together. So yes, so the flower consists of 3 internal petals, 3 external petals, and one singular leaf. So I've put all these together, as I said. So the yarn that I used initially, the white yarn I used was Ricourumi, and it was just what I had in my stash because I wanted to use up what was in my stash. The green is also from my stash, so that's great for destashing. But I quickly ran out of green because I had so many flowers to make. I worked out how many tulips I'd need, how many other flowers I'd need, and I just didn't have enough. So I did buy some cotton specifically for it. So yeah, this is the tulip. So this will go just in the top pocket. My partner measured it and it does fit. And I have got one for each of the key men for the day. So this one is for my dad. I wrapped it in tissue paper to sort of look like a little bouquet. I really like it. I've just got his initial here. It's not the same gold, which does get me ever so slightly, but I'm not that fussed. So there's one for my dad, which matches the green for my partner's flower. My dad is actually doing the main ceremony, so I thought if there's a lot of pictures of them together, it would be nice if they have the same green. So my partner has a tulip and he has a purple rose as well. So that's significant to him. It represents an important person in his life. So that is there. It's just a little bud because making a proper rose, firstly, it's quite big, and secondly, it would take ages, and I just sort of don't need the extra time pressures at the moment. I don't need the extra work at the moment. So yes, it's the same green here. So the greens that I used here and on one of the other flowers were yarn that I got from my partner's grandma. She is no longer with us, and I thought that this would be a really nice way of including her, is because it's a little part of her in a way. So it's sentimental, so my partner has that. And it is a different colour just because I was stash busting. But this is for his dad, and again it uses his dad's mum's yarn. So my partner's grandma, his dad's mum. Yeah, and then the other two that I've made one for my brother and one for my stepdad as well. And you can see from a distance that this one uses the new white yarn that I bought. The other ones are stash busting and they are slightly different colours. They're more of a creamy colour, which was from Ricourumi. This new yarn, so the white and the dark green, is from Hobby. So they all sort of match each other in a way. These two have the same leaf colour. All of them have the same colour petals. These two match. This one matches the other colours of the flowers, etc. So that's how they will be presented. I'm not quite sure yet exactly how I will store them. I think I will probably just pop them in a box for now, just so that they're safe, ready for the day. So there they are. 5 finished tulips and 1 little bud. So the plan is to give them the flowers before the day. So my stepdad is arriving on the morning, so I will give it to him the same day as the wedding. My other family members, obviously my partner, I can give it to him sort of a few days before, the same as for my dad, my partner's dad, and my brother as well. So I can give them to them on the Friday probably. For my mum and my mother-in-law, I have made some flowers for their wrist. So this is what it looks like from the front, and then from the back it doesn't look too neat just because I had to sew it on. This is just leftover ribbon that I had. It is pink, so I thought it might really show up, but when you've got it on, it's pretty invisible. You can't really see it. So this is the one for my mum. This one I followed a YouTube tutorial for. I found it a bit tricky, just because the maths didn't necessarily always work out. And it's not a written pattern, which I prefer written patterns because then I can keep track of where I am. I don't have to keep rewinding the video to get to certain points, if that makes sense. But these were really quick to do. So I think I probably finished this in less than an hour. Then I just had to sew it on. I mean, sewing is really easy for me, so that wasn't difficult at all. This was following the pattern to a T. So I have 5 leaves, and this would just be worn sort of on the day. So again, this is a rose, and the reason that it is purple is because I've tried to match all the colours with the flowers, if that makes sense. So all of the tulips are white, all of the lilies that I've done so far are blue, and all of the roses are purple. Again, purple roses are significant to my partner, and they will be significant to his mum as well. So that's why we've sort of kept with that theme. I've kept with that theme. White is very neutral, and blue and purple go well together. The colour for our wedding is a dark green, so this green, but unless we just have, or unless I just have leaves and succulents, then there aren't really any green flowers. So yeah, that's exactly what I've gone with. Blue is my favourite colour. Lilies are my favourite flower. Tulips are my partner's favourite flower. He doesn't really have a favourite colour, it's green, which is the theme for our wedding. It's also the colour of my ring. But yeah, so this flower was made in a strip. So you chain along, I don't know, like 130 chains, and then you crochet into it. I think the door's going to slam again, which was really cool. I'd say if there was a difficult part of it, it was either no, it wasn't. The most difficult part of making these was putting them together. So you have to roll it up, if that makes sense. So where the chains are, you have to roll that up so that it fits perfectly to look like a flower. I like it better where the petals don't match up, because then it looks like it's been done individually rather than rolled up. Just personally, that's what I like the look of. I'm just rambling on, I think. I've just been crocheting too many flowers. My mother-in-law doesn't actually know that I'm crocheting the flowers, which has taken up a lot of time. I'm sure that she can appreciate. If you are watching, mother-in-law, it was really difficult not to tell you. It was really difficult not to ask for some help, but I was determined to do it myself and determined for it to be a surprise for you. And I'm sure that you'll appreciate how much work goes into it. So you're welcome. Yes, so this is the one for my mum. This was completed exactly as the pattern called for. This was the second one I did, and as said, it will just be on her wrist like this. I am going to pop them in the same sort of gold wrapping and just put their initial on it as well. Sort of like this, but a little bit different. I don't know if maybe I can have this poking out the top. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And this is the one that I did for my mother-in-law. So this is different. Slightly different, just because for the first one that I did, I got a bit confused about the pattern. I didn't realise it was meant to have 5 leaves, so I stopped at 3, and then the flower just looked a bit weird, so I had to sort of cut it back a bit. But it's quite nice that they are a little bit different. Again, this is what it will look like on. So if I put them side by side, you can sort of notice the difference, but I wouldn't say that they're massively different. But yeah, this is probably much more symmetrical, but yeah. So the pattern I will link below. Again, both of them were fairly easy. It was just following the pattern. At times it was a little bit tricky. I'm not really used to watching a tutorial. And then I will show you some of the finished flowers that I've done. Again, just to keep track of them. A lot of these were made with new yarns. Again, just because I needed new yarns for the amount of flowers that I was making. Unfortunately, I would have loved for it to be a stash busting project. But the amount of flowers that I need to make, it just wouldn't have worked out with the maths. It would have been a lot of stress trying to make sure that I had enough blue to finish all of the lilies, making sure that I had enough of the same blue to finish all 6 leaves of the lily, all of the same white. As you can see, the cream and the white, it doesn't really matter because they won't be next to each other, but you can see the difference when they are next to each other. So yeah, as much as I would have loved for it to be a stash busting project, it wasn't meant to be. So the yarn that I've decided to use is Hobby cotton. I think it's 6-8, Hobby Friends. But yes, anyway, I'm going to wrap my 2 mothers. I'm going to wrap their flowers up. And then I am going to show you some of the other bouquet flowers that I've made. So I have just wrapped them up now. So one for my mum and one for my mother-in-law. I did try and show them like a bouquet, but it looked rubbish. And because there was only ribbon, it wasn't really staying in place. So I don't think I'll put them in a bag just because it's got silver on, maybe. I have got some other colours though. Dark green goes, doesn't it? So then they can take it home at the end of the night as well. Although if they're anything like me, they might misplace it. Maybe that is just me though. So my mother-in-law's fits in perfectly. Oh. There we go. 1. And then my mum's is a bit bigger. There we go. So those are the finished flowers so far. They will need to be fluffed up a bit before they're given, but they're looking pretty good to me. So this is the table in my front room at the moment. Sorry to my partner if you're watching. He probably won't watch this, but sorry anyway for the mess that has been the last few months. So I've taken over this little desk in our front room just because, well, it's a coffee table. I've taken it over because it's my workstation next to the sofa. So just to name a few of the random kit bits that I've got on the table, I've got a random notes for making some of the crochet bits. These are the flower bits that I was talking about. So inside here is wire. So it's wire at the end and then it's coated in plastic to make it look more like a stem. It's not the best quality probably because it's from Amazon. Not that Amazon's bad quality, but some bits you can get, they aren't great. So I just glued the stamen to the top, the yellow bits of the flower, and then I add the petals, add any leaves, and then just cover it in yarn just to make it look cohesive. So those are the stems. I've got my little yarn bowl. These are all of the colours that I'm using. So Hobby Friends Cotton 8/4, 100% cotton. So I've got a variety of colours. So I've got orange, mid purple, darker purple, yellow, mixed green. So it's got dark and light green in there, darker blue and a lighter blue. And in here I've got dark green and white. I've got all my stitch markers. I've got wire cutters because I do use those. I've got this craft knife, scissors, glue sticks. These are the stamens that I've used. I'll try and link those below as well. I've got needle, and these are the flowers I've made so far. So I will show you the different flowers that I've made. They are predominantly from a website called Ricourumi. So the lilies that I've made, they are from Ricourumi. These have got the yellow bits in the middle. The flowers do need to be reshaped, but I'm not going to do that yet because they will get squashed. So you can see I've just covered it in yarn here, made one leaf. All of the lilies are blue in different shades. So I've got a medium blue, I've got a light blue. This was not hobby yarn, this was from my stash, and it was Ricourumi, I believe. I've got the white tulips, which again I've spoken about. So these are most of them do have leaves, but this one doesn't. This one doesn't have a leaf just because I was a bit tired of doing leaves, to be honest. These are the same as the ones for the boys, top pockets, but obviously they've got a longer stem, so I haven't actually chopped this down. And the other ones that I have made are more of these flowers. So these were really easy to make. The flowers were pretty much, they were crocheted in the round, and then it's how you fold them as to how you make them. So they're just rose buds. Again, to make a rose, it's 9 different petals with a lot of counted stitches. And although I would love to have a proper rose, it's just a lot of work and I just can't face it at the moment. And then these are the leaves, which I think look really cool. Sorry if you can't see them very well, but yeah. So those are some rose buds. That's the guinea pigs. I don't know why they're squeaking because I have not even gone in the kitchen. Oh, Jesus. That's the back door. Clearly it's not shut. Yes, I will deal with the guinea pigs in a minute. Yes, where was I before I was rudely interrupted? So this is one of the Ricourumi patterns as well. So this was called Big Leaf, I think. And that was really easy. It does look very holey on picture. It is quite holey in person, but with something behind it, it doesn't look as bad. Looks a little bit lacy, but in person it doesn't look as bad as that. So the idea of this was to sort of hang down the front of the bouquet just to give it more of a shape. And then the last one I have is this leaf. So this was made, so the initial leaf that I made was, I think it was meant to be for a tulip. No, it wasn't. So I made the leaf for a lily. Then I decided I had enough lilies already, so 1 for each of my bridesmaids and 2 for myself. If I have any more, because they're quite big flowers, it would sort of overpower the rest. So the initial leaf I made was for the lily, and then I decided to include it, and I just sort of freestyled the pattern and just made it a bit longer. I'm not sure if I love it, but it's a leaf. But yeah, this again will be used to add a bit more shaping to the bouquet. So that's what I've got so far. So I've got 4 lilies, and I've got, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tulips and 4 rose buds. So the plan is for myself to have 2 lilies of different colours, 4 tulips, maybe 1 or 2 rose buds, maybe a few because they're quite easy to do, and then my sister-in-law and my sister will have 1 lily and 2 tulips and some rose buds as well. It's not the best angle, but I'm using the pillow to support my arm because the camera is quite heavy when you hold it for a while. But yes, I was looking at all the flowers I've done already, and although I'm very happy with them, one thing that I've used to just alleviate some of my stress is thinking about some of the things that I can do to make the bouquet bigger. So for example, if that is all the flowers that I can do, or I can only do a couple more per bouquet, even if it looks quite small, I was thinking that I could use some baby's breath or gypsophilia to pad out the bouquet a bit more, just so that it's not so squashed together. With the lily having quite long petals, it can sort of cover the other flowers, which if they've taken, you know, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to put together, I don't really want them to be covered, as gorgeous as the lilies are. So that's what I was thinking, and I can either get some from the shops. I'll have a look a couple of weeks before to see if they are available in shops or not. If they're not, then there is a flower shop, an artificial flower shop that I can go to get some. I'd rather buy them in person so that I know what they look like, just because I know artificial flowers aren't all made the same. Sometimes they look really good, other times they look absolutely shocking. And I didn't put, you know, so many hours into working on the flowers for them to just look crud, because they are with, you know, plastic bits that look rubbish. But yeah, that is basically the update at the moment. I will do another update once I have finished, once I've finished the flowers or I've progressed more. Just showing you sort of in my scrapbook at the moment. So this is the list of all the flowers that I'm doing, and I would really like the bouquet to be sort of longer at the bottom. So these are some of the ideas that I've looked at. So this is what the idea I had in mind for the boys. This smaller bouquet for the bridesmaids. So this one actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 15 different flowers, so I probably won't have time to do all of those. But it looks very pretty. But yes, I like the look of these, the way that they go down. I think they're called cascade flower bouquets. Cascade bouquets, maybe. But yeah, those are the ideas that I've got. Obviously this would be great. It doesn't look like there's too many flowers. Well, there are a lot of flowers in there, don't get me wrong. But it's the greenery around that sort of makes it bigger. So that's why I'm sort of focusing a bit on the greenery, because it makes the bouquet bigger and it adds something different as well, as you can see here. So you've got the picture quality is really bad. You've got gypsophilia here, and then you've got the leaves at the back, and then the flowers at the front. But yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So having a bouquet, having it cascade if I can do, and if I don't have enough crochet flowers, I can just use baby's breath to sort of pad them out a little bit. So yeah, or artificial flowers of some sort. These are all the different colour yarns I've got. I bought a lot of yarn. I don't think I need all of it. I don't know what is wrong with my maths at the moment, but it is off. It is definitely off. I need to update this actually, because I've done more than I've ticked off. I've decided to sort of mix up some of the flowers I'm doing, just because the ones that I've done, I've really enjoyed doing them, but I'm a bit bored of doing the same thing over and over, so I'm looking for some different flowers to do. Trouble is I have to make at least 4 for it to look decent, because I want to pad out the bridesmaids flowers bouquets as well as my own. So I'm looking probably at doing some yellow flowers as well. Yellow, blue, purple go together quite well in my opinion. Some people might disagree. But yeah, orange I'm not so sure on. I bought that initially to make the stamens from, the middle of the flower, and then I decided that I can just buy something instead and that will be easier. Comes with its own troubles, don't get me wrong, but it is easier. So yeah, I'm going to carry on working on the flowers and the leaves and things today. So far I'm just putting some flowers together, just mishmashing them, seeing how they go. So I've got 2 tulips, 2 rosebuds and the lily, and then I've got 2 leaves as well. So the way it looks at the moment, it looks fine. I would say it does need some more flowers, just because it looks a little bit scarce. And I would say the leaves probably need to be a bit smaller. And then I'm going to put together mine as well. So my sister and my sister-in-law have different coloured tulips. So this one is off-white, and my sister's tulips are white, and her flower is a bit lighter as well. So this is my bouquet at the moment. So again, this isn't necessarily perfect. I've just kind of popped it together just to give you a little look of how it's looking at the moment. So I've got the 2 lilies, I've got 4 tulips and 2 rose heads. I've also got 2 leaves, and what I've realised as well is, although I've crocheted a lot of leaves, so I've made the rose leaves, tulip leaves, lily leaves, I wasn't really using them, whereas if I spread them out a little bit, it just gives a bit more sort of texture, I guess, to the bouquet. Gives a bit more volume as well. I will also be bending them, making sure that the petals are, you know, symmetrical, looking good, trimming some excess wire, so you can see here it's just sticking out a little bit, and sort of, yeah, positioning them well. And I can also, because it's wire that I've used, I can also bend them, so I can put the lilies at angles, so they're more visible at the front, and have more of the flowers behind if I want to, and the leaves I can sort of push in any direction I want to as well. So yeah, that's how it's looking so far. I've also asked my mum very kindly to make me a hydrangea stem, so that will be going at the side. So my bouquet is looking pretty good. So my philosophy is I will continue to make flowers and leaves and greenery and things. That's the door again. So I will continue to make flowers and greenery and different things like that for the bouquets, and if I have too much I can give some more to the bridesmaids, or if they seem to have enough then I won't need to use it for them. So yeah, I can put it in my own. Sure, there's not a thing as too much for a bouquet, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at. It's nearly the end of August, so feeling pretty good. And as I said, if I run out of time or, you know, anything happens, then I can just use baby's breath to sort of pad it out a bit, because I think it looks really good so far. So yeah, very happy. But I thought I'd show you all of the flowers so far. So I've got the lilies. They're a bit flattened at the moment. I obviously need to puff them up a bit. These are all of the leaves. Again, they've all got wire in, so I'll restructure them at some point. These are the rosebuds. These are some lavenders. I didn't make these. These are the only flowers I didn't make, and then we've got the ones from Mum as well. These are forget-me-nots, and these are in little bunches. Like one bunch. And then we've got tulips. So together they're going to look really good. And my vase is pretty much full, to be honest. Can't wait to put them together. I think I might be finished now, but I'll probably do a few more just because I can't manage to stop. Yeah, I hope you like them all.